You are officially in the incinerator. Welcome to MidDay Mania, the live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I would love you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Um, Make sure you subscribe. YouTube haven't unsubscribed you. Excuse me. So you be notified when we give this fruitful and nutritious content. Give the video a like, share. You guys and girls know YouTube been around long enough. Just YouTube rules. With that being said, I hope everybody's having a good day wherever you are. We're a couple minutes behind schedule. Got a lot going on behind the scenes. Been on the phone with some different people from some different companies about possible product reviews and sponsorships. So we definitely working hard on that. I got some other stuff I got to get done today, and just got a lot going on. So shout out to everybody. Like I said, give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. Hope you being safe wherever you are. Yeah. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's Monday. Oh yeah, shout out to the 13 percenters also. If you guys and girls new to the channel, you had to catch up. You can see why I got this shirt made. The new 1350 is 13% of the population and 50% of the exoneration. So let's not be lost on that if we're going to do the 13%, the 1354. Yeah. If we 13, you guys already know what this shirt basically was printed up for. So and then you can go into that. But shout out to all the gun tubers. Before we get started to the meat and potatoes, I say this. I watched the Baltimore and Pittsburgh game last night. That was a really good game. I just knew that Baltimore won that game right before they kicked it. And to see them miss that kick was wild. But looking back, when you see that Pittsburgh missed the point after and that the wind kind of blew the ball, if you've never been to Pittsburgh, shout out to Trey 57 Productions also, by the way. If you've never been to Pittsburgh, you don't understand how the winning things work out there. So definitely, I know Eyes and Ears is a big Pittsburgh fan. So, yeah, like I said, should just shout out to everybody, worldwide movement, give everybody. We'll start at the 5-minute mark like always. I'm gonna try my best to put some more content out and keep this thing going. When I get the opportunity, I'm gonna go out and probably do a little bit of shooting. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the range or if I'm gonna just go out to the public hunt land. Just cause so much going on right now. So give everybody another couple minutes to get up in here. And I know it's lunchtime, and during lunch it's a little bit harder. All right, we got the Echelon Don up in here. I know during lunchtime, most of the time, people is having lunch, and it's kind of hard to get on here, but still, we're going to do what we do, you know. For those of you who riding in your car, if you catch this on the replay, if lunchtime is when you go to lunch at noon, Central Standard Time, and you see your postings, you see that we're going to do Midday Madness, Midday Mania here, just put us on your playlist, put us on your notification, and if you're riding to go get lunch, just hook us up to the AUX card. You can listen to it without actually having to see it, without having to actually see my face, but you can still get a gist of the content. So definitely, you know, for those of you who were able to catch us on the playback, we appreciate that too. So give everybody a couple minutes, couple more seconds to get up in here, and we'll get to the meat and potatoes of it, man. It's just a lot. It's 2026. We definitely looking forward to bigger and better, more consistent things here on the channel. Also, before we get started, whether the Alert Zone TV, any other channel or channels or content you agree with, make sure you sub to those channels. Whether they got 2 people that subbed or 200 million subbed to them. Don't just sub. If you really like them, share their content. Make sure you view the content, because that's the thing about this. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the original post that I posted about the Uvalde trial, I was under the impression that it's starting today for the one of the first arriving officers. I have a correction to make. They're saying that it's going to be jury selection. As far as this, my understanding is they moved it from Uvalde to Corpus Christi. For those of you from Texas or you travel, you know that's like on two different sides of the coast of Texas. As far as Uvalde is further out west, and Corpus Christi is basically on the Gulf of Mexico. So apparently they moved it because they wanted to get what they think is a fair trial. And they talked about how rare it is for officers to be charged with any crimes as it pertains to these school shootings. Let me say this. This is my personal opinion. Based on the research that I've done on this particular topic throughout the years, you guys and girls know I don't have a sophisticated setup where I can go into Google into all these old clips and these news articles and show you. But when you finish viewing the material, if you want to fact check me, I always tell everybody you can do that. And if I said something wrong, I'll apologize. I don't want to put false information out there. There's one thing that has been different about Uvalde from all the rest of the school shootings. This one was caught on video. That was the biggest difference. And that's why this officer and, as my understanding, a couple more have been charged. And I guess they're going to be going to trial or what have you. This officer that's going to be facing this trial is facing 29 counts. I think it's 18 of them or 19 of them. It's child endangerment, child neglect, and abandonment. So I lived in Fort Worth for a year after Hurricane Katrina. The first time I ever went to Texas was in '95 when we went to Astroworld. For those old Houstonians, y'all remember Astroworld? We went to Astroworld. I was in 11th grade. We had our junior trip, and we went to Astroworld. '96. All right, we got Dr. T in the building. And coming from Louisiana, when you cross over right there, Sabine Pass, right there at the state line, you see all this, don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas was a slogan that up into Uvalde held a lot of weight. Don't mess with Texas don't hit like it used to. Especially, people don't understand that was more for a law enforcement standpoint of don't mess with Texas, besides the citizens. The Uvalde school massacre, which, by the way, condolences to the families, condolences to the community, and my condolences to all the kids and the teachers that lost their lives in this. People might talk about, what does this have to do with the Second Amendment? The Uvalde massacre should have taught everybody one thing. Don't depend on law enforcement to be your line of defense. Because there's something people don't understand about law enforcement. They're human. They bleed red just like the rest of us. They have organ failure like the rest of us. Anything you can say about a normal citizen, you can say about a cop. They're all human. We're all human. For a long time, law enforcement has been seen like the FBI. The FBI have this mythical aura that almost that they can stare into a wall and see through it. Like they got X-ray vision like Superman. They just as human as me and you. Uvalde also pointed something out that I've always told people. It's much easier to shoot somebody who can't shoot back. It's much easier to beat up on somebody who ain't gonna fight back. It's a whole lot easier to do a lot of things when you don't have competition. It's not so easy when you got a gun and somebody you facing got a gun and they're willing to die. Your humanity kicks in. Yeah, you sign up for these jobs that say you'll pay the ultimate sacrifice, but are you really willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice? It's easy to say, sitting here behind this camera, that I would put a uniform on and go out there and give my life protecting the community when I'm almost certain it's never gonna happen. And then when it comes, the first thing you think about when trouble hit is, do you really want to die? You start thinking about your family. Are you really, really wanting to sacrifice your loved ones for somebody else? This is a human thought. This is a human question. And I'm going to tell you, most people are not willing to die for other people and other people's children. They may tell you that. I'm telling you, Uvalde pointed something out. For those of you who don't know the story of Columbine, a lot of mass slaughter could have been prevented. The officers had been at Columbine, but were too afraid to go after Klebold and Harris because they made it clear they wasn't going out alive. They wasn't going to be taken alive, which is why they was allowed to commit suicide. Apparently this guy in Uvalde, and forgive me that I don't have his name, was willing to die. Law enforcement is on video. That's the only difference between this and Columbine. It's real time. In Texas, of all places, that these kids were left and were literal sitting ducks. You know, being from Louisiana, sometimes you hear people say that, you know, I'm a sitting duck or you're a sitting duck. These kids were literal sitting ducks. The fact that the parents were being told they couldn't go into school to get their children. The fact that woman jumped the fence and went and got her sons, and then they were threatening her with prison if she talked. These were children. And they were left there to be slaughtered. I want everybody to think about that just 1 minute. These were children that were left there to be slaughtered. The officer that is on trial, and you guys and girls can YouTube or Google this or whatever whenever this stream is over to get more information. His defense is going to use that he was one of the few people that was trained for a school shooting situation, and that he chose to help get other kids out of the school. As long as this Uvalde situation went on. What's going on, Ronnie? It's going. As long as the other kids were out of the school, the focus was on the shooter. And the mere fact that law enforcement is on video with all of these long guns, they got ballistic shields. I mean, some of them was dressed to the hilt. Their humanism kicked in. Now we're going to address the elephant in the room. The shooter was Hispanic. Pretty much all the victims was. But so was most of the cops that showed up. Man, for those of you who new to this channel, I did a whole breakdown about this Uvalde thing. I don't talk about this with glee because this was children. And ain't no coming back from death, man. I don't stick my chest out. I don't even do this to chastise law enforcement. I don't do this to go after law enforcement. I talk about this because I want people to understand there's a lot of people whose experiences in this country is different. And I can tell you, coming up in New Orleans, I got a whole series on this channel where I talk about encounters with law enforcement. It's easy to shoot somebody who can't shoot back. It's easy to beat up a handcuffed Robert Brooks because he can't do nothing. It's easy to punch an elderly person in the face. It's easy to do something to a kid when you're a grown man and you're 3 times the size of this kid. It's easy to do that. It ain't so easy when the person you're going to victimize is gonna fight back. It's like home invasions, home burglaries. It's easy to do that when you think you got the element of surprise. It's easy for 5 dudes to kick in the door with Dracos when they think the person they come to kick in the door behind ain't got that damn shotgun behind that door. And as you guys and girls can see, there's thousands of videos of them going in people's houses and them people put that fire on them and they breaking out of there. And they got military style weapons. Let's be honest. Most people draw a line between bravery and common sense. Let's just go ahead and address that. It's easy to be brave when you got the advantage. When you don't think you have the advantage, just common sense to not engage. I'm telling you what these officers was thinking. I don't want to hear about their training because this is about instinct. It's kind of like people that say, well, it's easy to shoot at a target when the target don't move and the target ain't shooting back. And that has some validity. It's why I do what I do here on this channel. When I tell you go outside and learn how to shoot, you guys, even though I haven't had a chance to really be outside, I might go back to this other range I used to go to. Because when it's snowing and it's cold, the way the targets are, you can still shoot in adverse conditions. But just something simple as being able to pull a firearm and shoot during the range, shoot during the high wind. Most people don't even think that that is necessary until it's too late. Because we all think if we're going to have to protect ourselves, we're going to have a heads up. We're going to be outside. It's going to be sunny. It's not going to be windy. And we're going to see these guys coming 3 blocks away so we can prepare. The real world don't always work like that. They moved this trial to Corpus Christi, they said, because they're pretty sure everybody's heard about something about this particular case, but they feel like they can get a fair trial out there. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's one officer that's going to go on trial for this particular crime that's not going to get some kind of a conviction. Because this was children. And the one thing you can't do with Uvalde is have a whole bunch of media outlets twist the story. Because everybody saw this one. See, Columbine was romanticized because there was not too much real footage of everything going on in real time. It's different now. And even back then, the mainstream media controlled what we saw. for people who old enough to know what life was before internet. The mainstream media showed you what they wanted you to see. They edited, they sliced and diced tapes, and they made people say things that they didn't say. A lot of things were taken out of context. I mean, this, you think is bad now, you should have seen back then. If you don't remember life before social media and before everybody had access to it. These kids were left to die. And for everybody that watched this in real time, the horror of knowing that these kids are in the classroom, probably balled up against each other, and just wondering, are they going to survive this? The teachers. And outside, you got a hallway full of cops. AR-15s, the works. Call of Duty warriors. And they refuse to engage. Tells you everything you need to know. Now, as bad as it was for the Parkland shooter to be charged with being a coward in this situation because he ran the opposite way, this was even worse by the simple fact that it was a hallway full of officers that had long guns, they had everything you needed, and they refused to engage, and they let these kids be slaughtered. It's my understanding Robb Elementary in Uvalde was demolished. But you'll never take away what happened there. So what good did it do for you to demolish the school? That'll be one of the events 200 years from now people will be talking about. Because they'll never let that die down. Or the moms, dads, cousins, brothers, friends, people in the town. That's a stain they're going to have on them forever. To the state of Texas, because this was the time for us to see how big and bad Texas law enforcement was. And they let the state of Texas down. Period, point blank. I want everybody out there to understand, when we talk to you in GunTube about getting legally armed, these are the kind of situations we tell you to get legally armed for. You never know what's going to happen. That's number one. Number two, unfortunately, most people see law enforcement as invincible, and they're not. They're human just like the rest of us. At the end of the day, the most crooked cop wants to go home to his or her family at the end of the shift. No matter what they do when they're on their beat, at the end of the day, they still want to go home. It's very, very easy to be big, to be bad, to be bold when you got the advantage. And when you have somebody already in a submissive position where they can't do anything. It's very, very different when you got one and the person you're going after have one. And they show you that they're willing to die. Somebody that will run up in the school full of children and start slaughtering a bunch of children, they're letting you know they don't have an issue with leaving the planet in a bag. The police training kicked in. Their life training skills kicked in. Their instincts as humans kicked in. Also, their training of you don't engage in a situation you don't have full control over. I want this to be a lesson to everybody. Whether you're in law enforcement or you aren't. Whether you believe in F the police or you believe in back the badge, I just want you to think about some common sense stuff that I've discussed here on this channel about this situation, and go back and just review the footage because it's out there. Do I think some of these officers might have felt bad that these kids were losing their lives? Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I think the officers that refused to go in and engage was thinking more about their family and their kids than they were those kids that were being harmed. I can tell you that. I can tell you growing up where I grew up at and watching what I watched. Cops made sure that they victimized people that couldn't do nothing back, that they had the advantage over. When they went to get guys that were being arrested for domestic violence, they wait till they got him in handcuffs and talk to him about how I would have caught you hitting her, I would have whipped your ass, and they wait till they handcuff these guys and become bad. When guys tell them, and girls, take all them weapons and take that badge off and let's go straight up, they tell them no. Their instinct kicks in. There's a possibility I can't win this situation. I understand they're law enforcement. I'm just telling you the logic behind it because I've talked to officers about this. I've seen dudes in handcuffs with just their shoulders and their feet beat the crap out of law enforcement officers. I've seen it. I've seen them get out there and do it. I want everybody to get legally armed. If you have children in school, I want you to talk to your children and make them understand you got to have a backup plan if this ever happens. To anybody, not only in this country, but in this world, because this is a worldwide movement, I want you to think about something. America isn't the only place that's had these school massacres. I was just shown more, but these school massacres, I don't know what sparked these. I know Columbine in modern history made this become almost a romanticized folk type thing, and it has really went into high gear since then. All I can say is all those guys and girls that let those kids be slaughtered should lose their law enforcement credentials across the country. And for letting those kids be slaughtered, I think they need prison time. To leave those kids to be slaughtered. You see, here's the thing. When you sign up for certain jobs, you got to understand the dangers that come with it. And I think that's the hardest part for people to understand about signing up for a career, a job. We love the sweet, but we don't want to have to deal with the bitter. It's fun being in law enforcement, chasing people, helping people out, doing the right thing. For some officers, it's fun going into, as they say, where the action is. It's fun going to where the action is when you know the people that you're going to come across 9 times out of 10 are going to run away from you. It's easy to tase and shoot somebody running from you. It's not so easy to do when somebody is willing to get out there and bang it out with you. That's what SWAT is for. Standoffs. we're gonna keep our eyes on this story. You guys know I've said it here, and I'll continue to stand on it. After Uvalde, don't mess with Texas, don't hit like it used to. Because we got to see it in real time. A bunch of children lose their lives. Some of them could have been saved. Even if they could have saved one kid, it would have been worth it. I say what I say on this channel, not because I want to attack law enforcement. We have people that's in law enforcement that supports this channel. But I say what I say because it's common sense and it's human. It's factual. At the end of the day, law enforcement officers are still human. They still have families they want to go home to. It's easy to say you'll make the ultimate sacrifice when you don't have to make it. Or you bet on the fact that you won't have to make it. In this day and age, not only to law enforcement, but to all of us around this world, today can be your day. This minute can be my minute. Anything can happen. There was a lot of people who said a school shooting could never happen here. And look at it. There was people saying Iowa would never have a school shooting. Then we had one in Perry. There's people that said people know not to do certain things in Texas because everybody got guns. Uvalde happened in Texas. Sutherland church shooting happened in Texas. The Allen, Texas outlet mall massacre happened in Texas. The Walmart massacre in El Paso happened in Texas. Micah Johnson happened in Texas. For whatever you think about him, it was so bad they had to send a robot up there with dynamite to get him out of there. Let me say this, and I'll continue to say this. You are your first line of defense. You are your best option for defense. Why do you say that, though? Sometimes law enforcement can't get there in time. Sometimes some of us live in areas where law enforcement just refuse to go. In this situation, we watched one of the greatest debacles, but greatest eye-opening experiences about law enforcement. We watched them drop the ball, but I'm explaining a part of why they dropped the ball that most people maybe never thought of. At the end of the day, the guys and girls are not superhuman. Law enforcement's training is to get control of the situation and keep it. Well, how can you get control of a situation of a person that's in there slaughtering kids with an AR-15 and they willing to die? It's very hard to get control of a situation like that. Especially when you can't sneak up on them. Especially when you can't put a sniper in position where you can distract this person and a sniper shoots them. It's totally different circumstances. And I can tell you, as some of these officers heard these kids screaming, in their mind, they're listening to their children scream at their funerals. See, because when cops make the ultimate sacrifice, it's not over there. For those who have families, those who have children, now their children is going to grieve. And as I always say, I'm not anti-law enforcement, I'm just pro-justice. When you sign up to be in law enforcement, you sign up for the fact that you're gonna have to run into a burning house. Maybe. Because the firefighters can't do it all. You're gonna have to possibly go up in against somebody that's shooting or people that are shooting. I'm always gonna say this. And if you're a member of law enforcement, I want you to hear this really, really good, what I'm gonna say. I know training that y'all put in, y'all qualifying, y'all simulate a lot. Sometimes y'all do those videos and what have you where they ask what would you do, and you guys and girls got to think about something just like all the criminals got to. It's easy to be big, bad, bold, and willing to lay your life down when you know you got so much backup and you in a perfect situation where basically you ain't gonna lose your life anyway. It's not so easy when the threat you're going up against is willing to take you out and is willing to give up their own life. That's a whole different animal. And I know that's what your training kicks in. Your training kicks in that at the end of your shift, you want to go home. You guys are trained to survive your shift. At the end of the day, as you guys and girls say, at the end of the shift, I'm going home to my family just like you're going to yours. Unfortunately, you sign up for incidents like this when you join law enforcement or you become military. It's easy to say you're willing to make the ultimate sacrifice when you in your mind are pretty sure it's never going to happen. How many people in Uvalde thought that this couldn't happen here? This will never happen. When I talk to you guys and girls about crime stats, and I throw a lot of things out there that rubs people the wrong way because they get emotional. They listen with this and not this. I tell people, you go out to these vastly populated states, Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska, the Dakotas. You go to these vastly populated places, but you still got crime in prisons now. That means you're not untouchable. It can happen to you at any time, any place, anywhere. Crime is all around us. Crime don't know age. It don't know a race. It don't know a gender. It don't know a religion. It don't know a financial status. All crime knows is crime. Period, point blank. And because people still have the mindset of that can't happen here, it makes them become victims. Now, I'm not saying that the people of Uvalde said that about this particular incident. I'm just pointing out that crime is everywhere. Don't think because you moved to this place or you live in that place or this group or that type of person don't live around you that you're safe. My condolences to the family, friends, of everybody that's affected by this particular thing, this massacre in Uvalde. All of us, even people thousands of miles away, took a piece of this because we all thought about this could happen to our children. From preschool to doctorate degree, anybody that steps foot in a university, a high school, elementary school, whatever, any kind of institution of learning, we all sit on edge when school start, hoping that we're not going to be the family or live in a town or a city or whatever that gets the phone calls that the school is in lockdown because there's an active shooter that is actively shooting people. We all hope that this is not our time. We all worry about people that we have in school. After Uvalde, we all started really thinking about, now that we saw it in real time, what if that our children that was left to be slaughtered like that? I'll say this and I'll get out of here. Besides these kinds of massacres, protect yourself. Be your first line of defense. Don't be your last line, because you may not live to tell about it. If this happened in Texas, this can happen anywhere. This has been another episode of MidDay Mania. It's an unfortunate episode. Nevertheless, I think that it was something that we needed to touch on as another reason why you got to be legally armed out here. Why sometimes preparing for a criminal to come from 2,000 miles away to do you something is not always the smartest move. Because as I always say, most crime is local. It's very few crime that comes from outside. Hit me in the comment section and let me know what you think. Until next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. Yo.